a manufacturing engineer is someone who sort of takes a look at a product or design and says, how are we actually going to make this thing? What materials are we going to use? What tools are we going to use? How is it going to all fit together? It's definitely one thing to design something, which is more along the lines of what mechanical engineers do. They sort of look at a problem and say, okay, we need to make something that looks like this and it serves this function. And then they come to us and they say, this is what we want to make. How do we actually make it?
I came to Cal Poly for two reasons. One, I have family history here. Both my parents went to Cal Poly and were industrial engineers. But ideally, I came here because of the reputation of Cal Poly and the IME department. We have a really great program, and I feel like the learn by doing philosophy of Cal Poly has really prepared me not only for future jobs, but I've also had internships and co-ops and have a better understanding of what industrial engineers do.
When I was applying for schools, I had gotten into a lot of the UC schools, UC Santa Barbara, UC Davis, and I'm really glad that I chose Cal Poly. When I talk with friends at the other schools, they haven't even touched a tool or a project until their third year, and I came in first quarter freshman year and welded.
I came to Cal Poly not only because it's a great school and it has a great reputation. San Luis Obispo is a beautiful town and it's right next to the ocean and there's plenty of things to do here. There's lots of hiking, it's close to snowboarding, there's a lot of good food here. I love San Luis Obispo.
So I came into Cal Poly as a civil engineer and decided to switch because I always wanted to do project management and more business side of engineering. And I realized that industrial engineering offers a lot of courses on financial accounting and other things that are more business minded, but also offers engineering classes as well, so you get a little bit of more of a mix.
That was a big part of the reason I chose as well, is like the mix between engineering and business. Is like you get an opportunity to do like the technical side as well as the business side.
I think it's good because you get to have such a broad, like you said, broad knowledge of a lot of different things, so you can choose later on in your third or fourth year what you want to focus on, so you're not pigeonholed into one area right away. And then you get to decide, do I want to go into ergonomics or do I want to go into supply chain? It gives you a lot of options.
One of my teachers actually described industrial engineering as reducing variability and eliminating waste. And if you think about all the things that can be applied to, like you want everything to be the same. You want to reduce variability, whether it be at an amusement park, making an airplane, making a car, making Cheetos. And you also want to eliminate waste, whether that be waste of material waste, human labor waste, or any other kind of waste. And that's what we do.
I got to my third year and I realized all the coolest classes that I've taken have actually been manufacturing classes, welding, casting, machining, and it just made sense to me that I would switch into that major. And I've really enjoyed the hands-on and the projects that you do in every class.
A lot of the professors are very supportive. They're very student-oriented, very approachable. You can always talk to them about projects, about classes.
My first manufacturing class, I came in and sat down and there were 12 students and the teacher knew everybody's name in the class. I just thought that was so cool that he knew everyone by first name and they call him by his first name too.
As an industrial engineer, you typically go into areas of business where you're pulling from different groups. You're working with electrical engineers, you're working with mechanical engineers, you're working with marketing. And so as industrial and manufacturing engineers, you learn team dynamics and you learn how to work with different types of people on different type of projects.
I think our major does a good job preparing us for the social aspect of industry. So we have a lot of banquets with industry professionals and a lot of other events where we'll go up to companies and talk with them. So when I did my first internship, I was actually pretty comfortable talking to people from industry because I've seen them on campus a lot before.
The clubs on campus bring back these representatives time after time. So like eventually you start seeing like, oh, I remember you from that other meeting.
We have a lot of fun clubs on campus. A club that I'm really involved in is Institute of Industrial Engineers, where we have company representatives come in and talk to us about what they do in their job and how they use industrial engineering.
I think that it's going to be really easy for us to all get jobs.
Well, yeah, I mean, like a lot of people, like when they, like even before they're ready to graduate, they already have at least a couple job offers waiting in front of them. So.
And getting experience while you're in school is really important. And I get emails once or twice a week on internships that are available to us that our department sends out, just saying, hey, sign up for this. My friend that works at this company needs an intern, and blah blah. And so there's a lot of internship opportunities available. So.
And that speaks for the integrity of the department. You know, people who graduate want to come back and recruit people who are in the program right now because of the way it prepares you. You know, they know that Cal Poly students, especially IME students, are well prepared and will do great in industry. So it's good to have that reputation because you do have an opportunity for internships during the summers or during a couple quarters when you do co-ops or future job opportunities. You're always guaranteed pretty much to have something out there for you because of the network of alumni.
They know if they hire somebody from Cal Poly, they're going to be ready to work. They're not going to require as much training just because we had so much experience with hands-on projects and really getting involved in what industrial engineers and manufacturing engineers actually do.
We have 3 job fairs a year, and I guess it's gotten to the point where the word has gotten out about Cal Poly so much so that all the job fairs, they have like a set list of like the only companies they're going to let in, and there's like a long waiting list of all these other companies that like desperately want to come here and try and recruit. But there's so many companies that want to come, they're like, no, just these select few. And so like you only get like the top like recruiters out there that are actually allowed to even be on our campus to talk to us. But there's so many other people that are trying to get in to talk, just to get a chance to get Cal Poly graduates.
Industrial engineering, I mean, that's another reason why I chose this major is because you're not limited to any type of industry. You can go so many different directions, consulting, working as a manufacturing engineer, working as an industrial engineer in so many different industries. It just opens up a whole nother world for you.
Edit.
Anybody want to ask a question about their favorite project that they've done in classes along the way? Yeah,
I
you
need to talk more. Yeah.
Do you want me to ask you the question? So Valerie, do you have a favorite project that you've worked on?
I actually had a project in my project management class, which I thought was pretty cool. We got to come up with a cultural fair in honor of Cesar Chavez at one of the local elementary schools, Pacheco. And we just got to deal with all the logistics of it. We talked to the principal, we talked to the community center, and it was just a lot of like coming up with like exactly what would happen, dealing with the clubs, dealing with all these different people, and integrating to come up with one big event. So it was a pretty cool experience working with the community.
Sounds cool.
Allison, didn't you do something in project management?
Yeah, I just got done with a class called Polyhouse. It's a project management class, and but it takes project management kind of to the extreme. It's like an extreme home makeover where we select someone in the community that has special needs and is low income, and we renovate their house for them to make it safer and improve their quality of life. So it's going from picking the family all the way to planning what we want to do, how we're going to raise money because it's 100% fundraised for, and how are we going to get contractors. And so we work with a team. I worked in a team of 13 students over a 6-week period, and then we remodel the house in 2 weekends, so 6 days total to remodel a house. And we actually did a family in Napomo this year, and it's definitely a life-changing experience. I mean, I've learned so much, not only just in project management, but community service. You know, being under a very stressful situation where you have to raise all this money in order to help this family and get things done on time, makes you have the feeling that you can do anything. And in Cal Poly, I don't know of any other program, any other department that offers this type of a class. And it happens every spring, and there's just so much support for this project through the community and through the school that, I mean, that's, if I had known when I started at Cal Poly that this is what they do, I would have been here in a heartbeat. Like, that would have made my decision so much easier. So, I mean, classes like that don't come along very often, and Cal Poly is just awesome in that they offer this type of program all the time. I mean, that's the kind of experience that you'll get, so it's awesome.
Do you guys have any plans for this summer?
Oh, why, yes, I do.
Yeah, you should talk about them.
I'm going to be doing an internship for like 3 months, I think. 3 months. And it's up in San Jose. There's a lot of job opportunity up in San Jose is what I found, but it's up in San Jose working for a company, Intuit. They make TurboTax and QuickBooks. So I'm pretty excited. I found it through the job fair as well. So, yeah.
I'll be doing my 3rd internship at, and this time it'll be at Cisco in San Jose as well, which is why Elise said there's a lot of opportunity there. And I'll be working with them for 3 months in San Jose, and then I'll be doing 3 months back here at school part-time. And so they're just working with my schedule, but I'll be working in new product development as a supply chain industrial engineer, working in project management. So I'm looking forward to it.
I'm also working in supply chain.
I'll actually be at Cisco too this coming summer. Kind of the same deal where I'm working 3 months there, and then I'm going to be telecommuting for 3 months back at Cal Poly because they usually prefer 6-month internships. And I'll be doing a lot of program management stuff for a pretty new program, so it's a pretty cool opportunity.
I find that there's a lot of opportunity in the high-tech fields, and it's pretty fun to work there because they have really flexible schedules, so you can work from home.
I'm going to be working in San Diego at Qualcomm Communications, and it's a telecommunications company. I'll be working in the technology department doing process improvement and scheduling and a lot of operations research stuff, so it's really exciting.
Allison, you might point out your prior internships that communicate the broad opportunities in industrial engineering.
Yeah, I've been very fortunate with my education in that it's prepared me really well. I've been kind of proactive in trying to get internships because I'm not exactly sure what kind of field I want to go into. And since industrial engineering can be applied to so many different fields of business, I've been doing internships in different fields. So the summer after my 2nd year, I interned at Boston Scientific, which is a medical device company, and I worked there as a manufacturing engineer. And then I went straight, I missed a quarter of school to work at Disneyland as an industrial engineer. And so I really encourage, I mean, a lot of people are like, oh my goodness, you took a quarter off of school, how can you handle that? You're supposed to graduate in 4 years. But this type of experience, I mean, when else can you say that you internshiped at Disneyland and, you know, got all these valuable experience? It's something that you're willing to sacrifice a quarter of school for. You make contacts, you network, you learn on the job, which is, I feel, adds to your education so much. I mean, there's things you can learn in the classroom, but when you're actually applying it in the job force and with real people and real situations, you learn so much more. So I worked there, and then, like I said, I'll be working at Cisco this summer. So
Get it out.
I think that something that would be good to mention is nowadays it seems pretty common, and maybe you guys could comment on this too, that it takes definitely more than 4 years to graduate. Like this is my 4th year, and it's going to take me 1 more year. I did a study abroad program in Germany, so that was a 6-month thing and set me back a little bit, but I wouldn't have been able to graduate in 4 years anyway. But I think that it's not really a bad thing. Like San Luis Obispo is a great place, and I want to stay here as long as I can. But I think it also has to do with the sort of hands-on project-type atmosphere that they have here at Cal Poly. They just pack so much into the curriculum that it just takes that long to get out. So.
Yeah, definitely. I'm a 4th-year student, and I transferred in here, and I also did a study abroad too before I got here. And even with all that, it's like, you can graduate in 4 years if you really, really, really want to, but it's to the point where like it's not worth it. I mean, you're gonna start losing. I mean, you would not really leave the building very often if you were to do that, or at least in my situation, because I was a little behind when I got here. But I actually just signed up for the grad program, which means it's typically 4+1, but as far as I'm standing at it, it's going to be 5+1. I mean, 6 years in college sounds like a little long, but at the same time, when I graduate, I'll have a master's degree. So to me, it's worth it, especially because, like you were saying, I mean, San Luis Obispo, it's a great place to be, and Cal Poly is an awesome school. So
Is the 4+1 specific to Cal Poly, or?
yeah, I don't know.
I think it is specific.
Okay. Yes, it is specific to Cal Poly.
Was that a leading question?
One thing somebody might add in here is that even though you're on it might take multiple more than 4 years, and if you go to internships, co-ops, you're
Sure.
actually getting paid for these
Yeah,
things.
right.
So that high school kids don't
Sure,
know
I got paid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to have an internship.
Well, yeah, definitely. I think especially the reason why it takes more than 5 years is because people take quarters off like we've done, and you make very good money while you're taking a quarter off. I made just as much as like people make after they graduate in some majors. So, I mean, it's definitely not a bad thing to take 5 years, and I feel like if you do take 5 years, you get that extra internship in, you're a higher candidate once you come to hiring. So,
Yeah, because I mean, like, I've had a few interviews, and in talking, like, I mean, you can tell the employers they want experience. Like, they want you to have gone out and done something. That's like, it's almost more important than your education, just to know that you've been out and you've actually done something, not just sitting in a classroom the whole time.
And that's the great thing about Cal Poly is they know, and I know you mentioned this earlier, but they know that when you come out of Cal Poly, you've had a lot of hands-on experience. So if you were to graduate from a UC school in 4 years, I think they would kind of expect you to be in training for six months to a year just to get caught up to speed, whereas if you spend 5 years at Cal Poly and you come out ready to go, I think you're probably better off then.
Definitely. And a lot of the projects that we do in our major can definitely be put on your resume. I mean, a lot of employers, I mean, they ask you about your projects, and they're really impressed by what we do. I mean, I did a work measurement type of very industrial engineering project my second quarter here as a freshman, and I've put that on my resume, and that's a strong point that I have to my resume. I mean, doing the community service project, Poly House, that's something I'm very proud of that I want to put on my resume. I mean, it's Cal Poly's learn by doing philosophy that you are prepared constantly and through many projects to be willing to go into the workforce immediately. And so taking that maybe that extra quarter, extra year to do those projects and to have those types of experiences, I think doesn't really matter to employers because you're ready as soon as you come out.
I think another
Okay.
Me.
And what are we? This is just
Tell
our.
your
Hi.
name and-
I'm Jessica Godsey. I'm an industrial engineer. My name is spelled Jessica, and then my last name Godsey, Godsey.
Let's
we
spell
don't spell
Jessica.
it. Okay, just,
Adam Wegener. The last name's Wegener.
And Valerie Wilson, it's Valerie, and Wilson with one L.
and say your.
Do you want our major or our
Yeah, say
year?
your
Or?
major.
Blood
Okay.
type?
I'm a
Social
6th
security
year.
number.
No, I'm a 5th year. I'm about to be. I'm a 5th year.
Really, I am.
IE, right?
5th year industrial engineer. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a 4th year manufacturing engineer.
A 4th year industrial.
I'm Allison Holmgren. I'm a 3rd year industrial engineer.
Elise Coogan, and I am a 4th year
Go ahead.
industrial engineer. Sorry, I was thrown off there.
Matthew Mitera, and I'm
Matthew.
I'm gonna go with Matt Mitera actually, and 4th year industrial
Last second
engineering.
change.
It doesn't matter how you say it, we're just getting
Yeah.
it so that we can do that later.
Wait, scratch that. Matt.
Yeah, no,
Let
Matt.
me do one
With
thing
2 T's
now.
or 1?
With 2 T's.
Pretend he's talking, everybody look and pay attention. I need a reaction.
Oh, I have to really pretend hard on this one.
Like you're agreeing, he's saying something real brilliant.
Oh, wow.
Like,
This
you know,
is a fantasy
typically.
land.
That's so funny.
When is he not?
Yeah, not laughing so much, like you weren't laughing when he's talking.
It's like a serious
But you're listening
genius
to it.
moment.
This-
Just look
Wait,
at
wait,
awe.
wait.
And I'm gonna get each person listening.
Just keep nodding to whatever I
Don't
say.
make me laugh. Try to be serious.
Sorry. This is really awkward. Everyone's looking at me.
Okay, now the other way, let's pretend she's talking.
Oh,
You guys
goodness.
are all looking that direction.
Yeah. Woohoo.
See, isn't it awkward?
Do Polyhouse next year.
Shake your heads. You're agreeing.
I concur.
You guys all got the same experience.
Yeah.
Interesting.
We're all
favorites.
Yeah, Cal Poly.
I haven't quite gotten all the way across yet. Okay, now everybody look at the center person, looking down.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Pretend Elise
Yeah,
actually
that
said
makes
something.
sense.
Yeah, because I never say anything.
That's great.
I meant something intelligent. You know.
Good job.
You're jealous of my brilliance.
Yeah, exactly.
You're gonna get
Okay.
that.
So
I'm gonna be
jealous.
talking, he's gonna edit to you going, yeah.
How about them looking up?
Oh, yeah, okay, look up. You guys
This is awkward.
What's that? Should I be talking then?
You
Like
don't need
he's
to talk,
talking.
but
but-
he's just
Oh,
our
okay.
faces.
Talk.
Look at him. Yeah, there you go.
This isn't
Store.
creepy.
Hey, the whole time you were shaking.
And
Yeah, I
Whenever you would
can't.
talk,
Do something.
and I was stopping you. You were like,
You got my back then, huh?
Okay.
yeah.
And let everybody be quiet for a second. We're gonna get some room tone. We just need to record what the room sounds like.